Hi, my name is Kairiah binti Muhammad Kamel.
Hi, my name is Nur Aina Fatah binti Muhammad Farid.
I am Fatimah Sumayya.
Hello, my name is Nur Alia Natasha binti Abdul Razak.
Seng Industri Berhad is a Malaysian-based company known for manufacturing and distributing a wide variety of biscuits and confectionery products. Secondly, Seng business operation include manufacturing, packaging, and distributing its product, primarily in Malaysia, with a growing presence in the export market like Singapore, Indonesia, China, and other international regions. More than that, the company is regarded as one of the leading biscuit manufacturers in Malaysia, facing competition from both local and international biscuit manufacturers. Lastly, Seng is also publicly listed on the Bursa Malaysia Stock Exchange and has maintained steady growth through strong domestic demand and successful export strategy.
From the current ratio calculations, we can assume Seng Industries Berhad hold RM2.05 in current asset for every RM1 of current liabilities for the year 2022. Meanwhile, in 2023, it increased to RM2.27 for every RM1 of current liabilities. This proves Seng Berhad has significant current asset available to meet current liabilities in 2023 compared to 2022. Next, for the quick ratio, Seng Berhad holds RM1.58 current asset for every RM1 of current liabilities for the year 2022. The ratio increased to RM1.83 in the year 2023 for every RM1 of current liabilities. This is considered as improvement from what we can see in 2022 and 2023 by Seng Berhad because this company can cover debts without selling inventories. Liquidity ratio is a financial metric that measures a company's ability to meet its short-term obligation using its most liquid asset, typically those that can be quickly converted into cash. Common liquidity ratio include the current ratio and quick ratio, or known as acid test ratio. These ratios help assess whether a company has enough resources to pay off their debts that are due within the next year or operating cycle. Liquidity ratio are important to investors and creditors to determine if a company can cover their short-term obligations and to what degree. A ratio of 1 is better than a ratio of less than 1, but it is not ideal. Creditors and investors like to see higher liquidity ratio, such as 2 or 3. The higher the ratio is, the more likely a company is able to pay its short-term bills. A ratio of less than 1 means the company faces a negative working capital and can be experiencing a liquidity crisis. Secondly, it determines creditworthiness. Creditors analyze liquidity ratio when deciding whether or not they should extend credit to a company. They want to be sure that the company they lend to has the ability to pay them back. Any hint of financial instability may disqualify a company from obtaining loans. Thirdly, liquidity ratio can determine investment worthiness. For investors, they will analyze a company using liquidity ratio that ensure that a company is financially healthy and worthy of their investment. Working capital issue will put restraints of the rest of the business as well. A company needs to be able to pay its short-term bills with some leeway.
Based on the analysis of Seng Industri Berhad financial metrics, specifically the debt ratios and term interest earn ratios, we can observe a nuanced picture of the company's financial health. The data reveals a slight decrease in the company's debt ratio from 33.7% in 2022 to 32% in 2023. This decline suggests that the company has managed to reduce its debt relative to its assets over the year, indicating a potentially positive trend toward improved financial stability. Conversely, a more concerning trend emerges when examining the time interest earn ratios. The company's ability to cover its interest expenses has significantly decreased from RM 1,374.65 in 2022 to RM 3,259.01 in 2023. This sharp decline signals a worrisome weakening in the company's capacity to meet its interest obligation efficiently. A decreasing time interest earn ratio could indicate potential financial strain and raise questions about the company's ability to service its debt effectively in the future. Now, we will discuss the significance of debt ratios. The debt ratio is a financial metric that gives investors valuable insight into a company's capital structure and ability to meet its debt obligations. The debt ratio is often considered the simplest measure of financial leverage as it compares a firm's total liabilities to its total assets to indicate how much the company relies on borrowed fund versus equity financing. There are several significance of debt ratio to consider. First of all, by analyzing debt ratio trends over time and comparing them to peers, investors can assess a company's financial stability and management strategy around growth investment and risk appetites. Different industries have varying norms for debt level based on their capital intensity and cash flow predictability. Secondly, the debt ratio directly influences other important financial metrics like return on equity (ROE) and interest coverage ratio. High debt pushes up the equity multiplier, increasing potential returns on equity during good times, but also expanding risk in downturns. Other than that, for investors, the debt ratio is a key input in evaluating the risk profile of potential investment. It helps gauge the company's financial flexibility and ability to withstand economic downturns. Last but not least, a higher debt ratio indicates greater financial risk, as more of the business is funded through debt that must be repaid. This increases the chances of defaulting of payment and potential bankruptcy.
Let's go deeper on the calculation. First of all, inventory turnover ratio. As for the year of 2022, the calculation we got is 8.01 times. For the year of 2023, we got 8.26 times. The inventory turnover ratio for 2023 is higher than 2022. The ratio increased from 8.01 times to 8.26 times. Why is it important? This is good because a higher inventory turnover means the company is selling and replacing its inventory faster, which reduces storage costs and help prevent overstocking. Hence, the difference of ratios between 2022 and 2023 clearly show that Seng Industries is efficient, has good sales, less inventory, and take less time to convert its inventory in 2022. Next, we calculated an average collection period. In 2022, the company took about 40.45 days on average to collect money from its customers, while in 2023, the period decreased from 37.55 days. The average collection period is to determine the number of days taken by a firm to collect its account receivables and to see whether the company is having a strict or loose policy. A lower collection period is actually better because it means the company is getting paid faster by the customer. So the improvement in 2023 shows that Seng Industries has become more efficient in collecting money owed by the customers, which means it helps to strengthen their financial position and reduces the risk of bad debts. And lastly, we calculated a total asset turnover. The calculation for both of the year 2022 and 2023 is 1.49 times. The total asset turnover ratio remains stable at 1.49 times. This is a sign of consistent performance. A higher number means the company is generating more sales per dollar of assets. This describes that Seng Industries is consistently using its assets efficiently to generate revenue. On the other hand, stability in this ratio also shows that the company is managing its resources very well and maintaining good performance year over year. Alright, now I would like to explain about the role of efficiency ratios in financial performance evaluation. What is efficiency ratios? Efficiency ratios is a measurement of how effectively the firm is managing its assets in generating sales. The ratios serve as a comparison of expenses made to revenues generated, essentially reflecting on what kind of return in revenue or profit a company can make from the amount it spends to operate its business. So their role is to measure things like how quickly inventory is sold or how effectively assets are used to bring in revenue. The more efficiently a company is managed and operates, the more likely it is to generate maximum profitability for its owners and shareholders over the long term. In addition, by tracking these ratios over time, companies can spot the trends in their performance and make necessary adjustments to improve efficiency. And conversely, efficiency ratios provide valuable insights that help businesses understand their effectiveness in turning resources into profits and help them in making informed business decisions.
Based on the slide for profitability ratio, we can see the analysis done for the company Seng Industries Berhad. For the net profit margin, it can be calculated by dividing net income available to common stockholders with sales. For the year 2022, their net profit margin was 10.87%, while in the year 2023, it was 18.12%. To compare, there is an increase in the net profit margin from 2022 to 2023. This results to an increase in the net income available to common stockholders. Meanwhile, for return on assets, or also known as ROA, it can be calculated by dividing the net income available to common stockholders with total assets. Based on the group data for Seng Industries Berhad, their ROA for 2022 was 12.25%, and in 2023, it increased to 18.89%. This shows that the company has higher return on assets due to efficiency in asset utilization. Lastly, for return on equity, ROE, the formula is to divide the net income available to common stockholders with common equity. For the year 2023, Seng's ROE was 18.48%, while in 2023, it was 27.80%. Clearly, we can see that there is an increase in the return on equity from 2022 to 2023, therefore also increasing the return for shareholders. One of the importance of profitability ratios is their ability to reveal underlying business issues that are not immediately obvious from financial statements. Financial reports provide a general picture of a business's performance, but they sometimes lack the specifics required to pinpoint problematic areas. While profitability ratios provide a more detailed perspective, they also allow managers and owners of businesses to identify potential problems. Other than that, profitability ratio is also used to routinely assess performance in the relation to peers in the industry in the competitive world of business. In this procedure, Profitability ratios are essential since they provide a more meaningful comparative information than sales alone. Although it may be pointless to compare the sales of a small business with a larger organization, profitability ratios give enterprises of varying sizes an even playing field to assess their effectiveness and efficiency. Moving on to our third point, profitability ratio is quite beneficial for seasonal businesses as seasonal enterprises, such as those in retail or tourism, frequently see changes in their earnings according to the season. Profitability ratios provide these companies important information about how their finances have performed over time. Seasonal enterprises can also learn more about when their peak profitability arises by comparing profitability ratios for comparable times over several years. Last but not least, profitability ratios are useful for investors. This is because investors are continuously looking for ways to maximize their returns, and profitability ratios are a key indicator of a company's long-term performance. Strong profitability ratio demonstrates to investors that a business is running profitably and has room to develop for the foreseeable future. Potential investors will feel more confident, and as a result, it may encourage them to increase their investments or think about making more in the future.